Today I'm going to show you my top 10 knives for beginners. So if you're just starting out in this hobby, I know there are so many different knife choices out there, it can kind of be a little bit overwhelming. And this is the type of list that I wish somebody would have done for me when I first began in this hobby. I really tried to fill this list of knives that is really, there's going to be hopefully something for everyone, whether or not you're just starting out in this hobby or you're a seasoned veteran. There will be a knife here for you. So let's do this. Hey, how you doing? My name is Jay. If this is your first time here, welcome to my channel. And you know what? Consider now clicking on that subscribe button if you're looking for knife videos that get right to the point. First, we should probably figure out what makes a good beginner's knife. Well, price is going to be very, very important here. Price really, and the materials that you're getting for that price, because you are not going to want to spend a bunch of money on knives. You know, what if this hobby doesn't work out for you? You don't want to be stuck with a bunch of $100, 100+ knives. So everything that I'm going to show you here today is really going to be right at about $50 or under. And as a beginner, you're going to want a knife that really is pretty much just ready to go right out of the box. You're not going to want to have to jack with something to adjust it to get the action at where you want it. The knife should be good to go immediately as soon as you take it out of that box. And you know, because chances are you are not going to have the tools yet to make these adjustments, although I do recommend that you probably at least get your hands on a Torx number 6 and a number 8. You know what, a number 10 wouldn't be bad either, because those are pretty much the sizes that you'll use, you know, when maintaining knives. And any of the prices that I'm going to quote here for each knife, those are going to be prices that I got directly from Amazon. And I'll also be sure and have links down below to each knife, just in case if you see anything that you like, and it makes it really easy to go ahead and pick it up yourself. At number 10, we do have this is the Geo 901, and this is a 3.3 inch blade with a 4mm thick. Yeah, this is probably the thickest blade stock out of everything I'm going to show you here today. D2 steel, which is really, really good stuff. It's going to hold an edge for a very long time. You just have to be careful with its corrosion resistance, and that's something else that you're going to learn more and more as you get farther along in this hobby, is, you know, which blade steel works the best for you. The action on the 901 is just fantastic, and that's going to be because of the ceramic ball bearing pivot here that this blade is riding on. Just a ton of value here with this knife. And number 9, we have the Ruike P801. Now this is a 3.5 inch blade that's made from it's a Sandvik steel called 14C28N, and the scales here are going to be full stainless steel, so nice and durable handle. It is a ball bearing pivot, so the action is very, very good. And now, did you notice you have multiple deployment options? You can either use the thumb studs that you see or the flipper tab. Both works just as well. And number 8 is going to be the Bestech Warwolf. This is a 3.5 inch blade, also with D2 steel. Now the blade's riding on, it's a ball bearing pivot that is captured, and what that means is you can see it's only going to require one Torx bit to make any adjustments. Sometimes there are some knives that do require too. So especially if you're just starting out in this hobby, I mean, and you probably have the bare minimum as far as tools go, yeah, you're not going to need 2 here. The action on this Warwolf, again, very, very good, and that's right out of the box. I mean, so it's going to require no adjustments when you first get it. And number 7, we have the CRKT. This is the large Pilar, and because there's a smaller version of this knife. Now the blade here is about 2.67 inches in length, and this also features D2 blade steel. The action is manual, and now this one's not riding on a ball bearing pivot. It's actually going to be Teflon washers on the inside, which, you know, that's a lot easier to maintain instead of ball bearings. Now this also has, like the Ruike P801, this has multiple deployment options where you can use the flipper that you just saw there, or you can go ahead and use, yep, that thumb hole. What I really like about this knife is that, okay, so overall it is pretty, it's a small knife, but because of this, you see this forward finger choil, it's able to, you can kind of choke up on this knife, and it's able to accommodate like different hand sizes. So if you have like a larger hand, you're still able to use this knife pretty comfortably. And number 6, we have a knife. This has been just a staple in Kershaw's lineup, and it's the Skyline 1760. This features it's kind of a spear point 3.1 inch blade that's made out of Sandvik 14C 28N. It is manual action and very, very light at about 2.5 ounces. This is one of the few Kershaw knives that are actually made in the United States. So I know that's important for some of you, yeah, but this one right here in the US of A. And number 5, we have another Kershaw. This is the Dividend 1812. Now this is actually an assisted opening knife, so called speed safe. Well, at least that's what Kershaw calls it. And what it is all you have to do is you kind of just, you push on the flipper tab here, and then there is a spring on the inside, or more of like a torsion bar if you want to get technical, and it then just propels the knife open. I really like, you know, especially as for beginners, I really like recommending assisted opening knives, because you don't have to worry about like adjusting like the pivot for the action, and you know, you don't have to have a ball bearing pivot on assisted openers. I guess what I'm trying to say is that they're a little more forgiving, if that makes sense. Now this is a smaller knife, about a 3-inch blade, but it is very, very thin blade stock. So this is just one of the best slicing knives available. The steel is going to be, it's 420 HC, which stands for high carbon, and the scales GFN, so that's glass filled nylon. Now of course, since this is a smaller knife, it's going to be very, very light at only 2.6 ounces. And this one is also one of the few Kershaw knives that are also made right here in the US of A. At number 4, I've got the Ganzo Firebird. This is the FH13, and this was a really tough decision, because really I could honestly recommend like any of the Ganzo knives in the FH series. Like this one is the 21. I mean, there's so many that are just so good. And this features it's a 3.5-inch blade, also made out of D2 steel. The scales are stainless steel, so they're going to be very, very durable. Ball bearing pivot. The action is just fantastic right out of the box. And you do get, with the FH13, you get a deep carry pocket clip that is reversible for righties or for lefties. Now, there's a version of this knife, if you prefer maybe G10 scales, there is a version that has the exact same blade, except it's going to be a G10 with liners, and that is the FH11. And number 3, we have the CIVIVI Baklash. Now, this is a knife. Now, CIVIVI is actually, it's the budget brand for WE knife companies. So you're getting like that same WE knife quality, but it's going to be at more of like a budget-oriented price. Now, this is it's a 3.5-inch blade that is using 9CR18 MOV as the blade steel. It is riding on a ball bearing pivot that, as you can see, it is also captured, so just going to require the one Torx bit. The detent on this is just so good, and it makes the action right out of the box just fantastic. I mean, every time you push down on that flipper tab, I mean, this knife just flies open. Very difficult for me to get this to fail. As a matter of fact, I don't think that I can. This also features, it's a deep carry pocket clip that's going to be reversible for righties or for lefties. All right, now we're getting down to it. At number 2, I got from Steel Will. This is the Cutjack, and it features, this is a 3-inch blade that is made out of D2 steel with FRN scales. And you notice now this is one of the few knives here on this list that also features that forward finger choil, so you can choke up. Now, if you're not crazy about this design, that's okay, because Steel Will also offers a knife called this is the Modus, and they're really pretty much almost cost about the same amount of money, and they're all made out of the same materials, except you can see that here on the Modus, it's a little bit longer of a blade at 3.27 inches, but both of these knives, they are both riding on bronze washers on the inside. All right, you ready to see? This is my number 1 knife for beginners, and it is going to be, yep, the Ontario Rat 1. Now, this features, it's a 3.5-inch blade. If this is a little bit maybe too large for you, because it's 3.5 inches here and then a 5-inch handle, there's also available the Rat 2, and what that features is it's a 3-inch blade, has the exact same blade steel in D2. What I really like about this knife is that it offers, it's a 4-way reversible clip, so you can pretty much, you can move the pocket clip to wherever you want, and it doesn't matter like the size of your hand, because this handle is able to accommodate so many different like hand sizes. I mean, you can see I wear a medium-sized glove, and look at all of that room that is still left on that handle. So if you have larger hands, hey, you have nothing to worry about here. All right, now it's your turn. I have shown you mine. Let's see yours, and I would love to hear from those of you knife veterans out there. Hey, let's help out our new bladed brothers in arms, and you know, what knives do you think would be great for beginners? Put them down in the comment section below, because I'm sure there's a lot more out there that I haven't mentioned. Hey, so if you enjoyed this video and you got any value from it, hey, would you let me know just by leaving one of these? I like them a lot. And don't forget to click on subscribe. Hey, thanks for watching, and I'll see you at the next video. You guys take care. See ya.